I am your host, Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg. And I am going to ask a few questions about what happened with the Corey Holcomb 5150 show, which stands for, being admitted to a mental institution. Let's always remember there's a underlying theme here of what? Mental retardation or being admitted to a mental house. Let me just turn this a little bit more this way. Push this back. Oh yeah, that's better. What we have to do is talk about what the title is talking about. And that is, who's a real nigga in this situation? That's what we all want to know. Oh, Corey's a real one. Nah. Anton Daniels, he's the real one. He's the realest one right there because he got more money. He said it twice. And when I say he said it twice, you see, this, when I was a kid coming up, my mom raised me Jehovah Witness. So I was never around the kids that, ran on egos. I was too busy studying for the next day's Kingdom Hall and things like that. So, I wasn't raised with like certain ideologies. What happened with me was when I got a little older in my teens, I heard things like, if a person invites you to their private area, like SMD, which is suck my DICK, you're supposed to react a certain way. I never really got that when I was coming up. I get that, these are the things that are, being taught, but I was never taught that. And by the time I learned it, it really didn't mean anything to me. And I've had it said to me, when I was working in the bar business, people said that to me, at least once every 2-3 months. One of the customers, he didn't like that he couldn't get in. And he's like, yo, SMD. And I was like, have a good day. I never got enraged with so much anger and so much vitriol that I just would do whatever it took to just get at that person and, just stomp them out and do. It never worked on me. And now I know they call it like throwing a frank, or that guy, I have a friend of mine's, ex-friend of mine's. He's no longer my friend, but he was a friend of mine's, and he just came home from doing 22 years in prison. And he told me that they would initiate young people to join the gangs and the prisons. And what they would do is, if there's somebody that they wanted to get rid of or they didn't like, they would take a young person and say, yo, such and such threw a frank at you. And I was like, what do you mean they threw a frank at you? He was just like, it was like SMD. I said, did the guy say to the guy SMD? He was like, nah. But everybody knows that if someone says that to you, you have to go to war. And I was like, wait a minute. You telling me that if somebody tells you SMD, then you got to go to war even if you don't know this person? Then it says, yeah, that's the way it is in jail. I said, man, y'all bugging it. It was just like, what? Jail niggas is the dumbest niggas I ever met. Like, y'all really, really, really slow. You telling me that I have to jeopardize doing 3, 4, 5 to 10 more years being violent to somebody that I don't know, don't have a beef with, but I was told that he threw a frank at me. So there's this whole concept of the SMDs. I know Fat Joe, he went viral when he said, in his position, making the money that he makes, living the life that he lives, if somebody told him SMD, or if somebody threw a frank at him, or invited him to the hot dog stand, if they invited him to a hot dog stand, which is just ridiculous. These words, it just shows how ignorant people are, how stupid they are, that they got to make up words like he threw a frank at you, so go get him. What? So this guy is saying, what is he saying? Oh, Fat Joe, he was saying like, yo, I would risk my whole future to cut that person, stab that person, shoot that person, retaliate against that person because they said the SMD. So this is what this is all about. This is all about, if I invite, and then here's another thing. Corey Holcomb would not let Anton Daniels speak. Every time he tried to speak, he would cut him off. And then Corey Holcomb, every time he would speak, he would cut him off. And what else? Anton Daniels, he told Anton Daniels that you be riding the white man's tip. Or matter of fact, we can go to that and see exactly what Corey Holcomb told Anton Daniels. And we can see that Anton Daniels retaliated by saying, that's why you sucking the dicks of the black man. In other words, a black man could say anything and he's right, because he tried to imply that if there's a white issue with a white man, then you're just all for it and yeah, for the white man, which I never heard Anton Daniels do that. And I've been watching Anton Daniels since I saw him on a panel with like 40 people. Maybe not 40, but way too many people, if you let me tell it. You know, those people that are on the internet talking about they don't want to see you win. And you got to believe in yourself. You got to get up every day and you got to fight. Like, shut up, bro. I don't want to hear you preaching to me about, what I need to be doing and how I got to get up in the morning and fight to shut up. So what's interesting, too, is if you look at it, Anton Daniels has been taken off of the thumbnail. Anton Daniels was in this thumbnail. He's been taken off the thumbnail. So it's just Corey Holcomb, which to me is, what does he have? He only has 300,000 views. You should have taken out that picture from the thumbnail. You'd have been at 1 million views by now. Listen to this.
Then you will go after white males. What are white males responsible for in this country as the downfall of it? I'm an equal accountability smoke giver. I talk about everybody.
What? This phone got a hair trigger.
You know, because if you go against them, it'll be some video of you going against them. And when I say them, I'm talking about your boss. I don't have a boss. We say that. We say that. But here's the truth. I don't have a boss. It's a reason you go after black males or black people quicker than you will go after white males. What are white males responsible for in this country as the downfall of it? I'm an equal accountability smoke giver. I talk about everybody. I'm just saying, I ain't heard you talk about white men. Well, you ain't been listening. You ain't been listening. You ain't been listening. I've been listening to you. I just haven't. I hear you taking the... You don't have the capacity to be able to listen because you're too busy. No. You too busy. My capacity that you just criticized, that's an opinion. Here's the fact. Have you seen something about Caucasian males and how they destroy this nation? Well, what did I miss? Let's slow down, because you're talking loud, but you're not saying a lot. No, you talking loud, and you still talking around. What did the Caucasian male do to America to bring it down? I'm not getting into that. You dancing around it, and that's why I lose respect for you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males' ass. But I don't. Don't do that in front of me, because I'm not a...
You keep kissing Caucasian man's asses. This is what he says to Anton. Is that how serious is that for somebody to say that to you? Is that you're an ass kisser? No one wants to be called an ass kisser, but is it are they fighting words? Is ass kissing a fighting word? I wonder.
Ass kissing of nobody. Yes, you are. You suck the dick of white people right now. You doing the easy shit. What you do? Let me tell you what you do. No, let me tell you something. I don't suck dick. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. So fix that. You're doing it right now. I don't suck dick. You're doing it right now. Believe me when I tell you. I don't do that. I don't do that. Listen. So don't come at me with no dick sucking shit. I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me. Let's switch seats. I'm with homie. I don't do no dick sucking shit. I'm a motherfucking man. I don't do no dick sucking shit. I don't give a fuck about nothing. Well, I tell you what. Watch that dick sucking shit, cause that'll go bad. Call it what you want. I don't do no dick sucking. You say a lot of shit that I don't fuck with either. You okay, but that gay shit? Oh, you don't give a fuck about what you talk about. Hey, homie, I tell you what. I'm right here. Don't put no dick sucking shit. Don't put no dick sucking shit on me, nigga. I'm from Detroit. Say I suck a dick again. I'm right here, right now. All right, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna respect you. Dance around it. Dance around it. No. I don't do no dick sucking shit. I'm gonna respect you because it's your platform, and I flew out here to have a conversation. We good. But you not pressing up on me. We good. I did already. I don't need dick sucking shit. We can put the microphone right down. Right now I'm going up there. I don't give a fuck about this shit. Homie, you just running your mouth. I'm not running my mouth. You running your mouth. I don't do no doing this shit for the internet. You doing it for the internet. Now, if you want to say your time, no, hold on. If you want to say show you I ain't doing it for the internet. I'm saying, don't disrespect me like that. If you want to say Anton, don't disrespect me like that, I'll respect you. But don't boss up on me because you said a lot of shit to me today that I don't fuck with either. I'll let that shit ride because you don't know me. You don't know me. So I'm going to extend the same respect to you. You called me out of my name. You said some wild shit, especially with regard to how we call this nigga out his name. Nigga, I'm telling you that you did. You can't tell me how I get disrespected.
I got a question for bro.
Okay. No. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. We just getting loud. I ain't gonna get loud. Then don't switch seats. No. This is my show. This is my show. Cool, but I take that shit as a threat. Okay, well, it is a threat if you calling me dick sucking. I don't dick suck, my nigga. Man, fuck what you talking about. I don't dick suck. If you want to get back to the conversation, because you ain't gonna do shit. Because you're not gonna do shit. Come at me with that dick sucking shit again, nigga. You're not gonna come at me with. Say I suck dick again, nigga. We can go all back right now. Fuck I am. We can go all back right now. I'm with it. I bet you won't say that shit. We can go all back right now. I got money for all this.
See, I didn't like what Corey just did. I know a lot of men like Corey. Barking. And he's used to men and women backing down. He's used to that. He's used to a group of people that would look at him as big, black, and scary. Anton Daniels didn't believe it. And the fact that Anton Daniels didn't say that you're sucking the black man's dick, again, doesn't show a sign of weakness. What it did was he was sizing him up. And would Corey Holcomb lunge at him and risk his platform through the YouTube streets? Would Corey Holcomb really do that? It's possible Corey would have jumped on him if he would have said, "You're sucking the black man's dick." But what Anton Daniels did was he got up, right? And he said, "We can take this out back." And Corey just sat back and relaxed his shoulders and said, "Man, you ain't saying nothing. You ain't talking about." So it was very interesting how Corey Holcomb, when he was challenged to take it outside, he backed down. You know, let me do a little story time with you. I used to be in the bar business from the age of 21 to almost 40. I'm 52 years old right now. 21 to 40, I was in the bar business. And that was everything from starting off as a bartender and working my way up to partner. And, well, managing partner. I always say managing partner because a managing partner means I could still be fired if the numbers wasn't right. But our numbers are always right. I would make sure my boss made 40,000 a month in a small 850 square foot space where we had a small VIP and enough room for 4 bartenders in the bar, DJ, um, top of the line air conditioning and heating, beautiful wooden floors, brick walls. It was 2 bathrooms. It was a nice space, and we made buku bucks. And I would always make sure that the boss had 40 G's a month. Okay, and I was, I was getting my salary plus I was getting a percentage. So that's what made me the managing partner. So I was running this bar for a lot of years. And one of the things that I hated the most was that you got these so-called real niggas that want to come into my bar, get into a beef with somebody, and what do they want to do? They want to fight in my bar. So I used to have in this 850 square feet of space. The space was 1,000 square feet, but I had my office and I had we're not including the bathrooms in the office. So workable, usable space. And in this workable, usable space, there would be beef, and I would have to hire 2 to 3 security at the door, and sometimes it would be 4 security at the door. One would be a woman to search the girls, because all the girls want to bring their men's weapons in, or their boyfriend's weapons, or some guy they trying to holler at weapon. I was very big, and not only that, they would bring in drugs and all kind of things. So we would have to stop that at the door. And another thing was we would have security inside the place, right across from the bartenders. So right near the bathrooms, just in case we didn't want anybody running behind somebody in the bathroom. We didn't want two, 3 people in the bathroom at one time. So there'll be a security there. Then there'll be a security towards the back by my office. So we're talking about between this is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days a week, between 4 and 5 security. So this bar was making a lot of money because we were paying $125 a night to the security. So we got 600 and change a night just on security. And let me tell you, man, it used to just blow my mind how no one wanted to step outside. I told y'all, real niggas. But no one wanted to step outside. Everyone wanted to fight right there on the spot where they stand. Like, yo, my guy, I'm running a business here. I got 14 bottles of champagne on the bar right there. I got somebody that just ordered a bottle of Hennessy over there at the VIP. What are you doing? I got 2 people ordering Grey Goose bottles at that table right there. Y'all want to now fight in my spot, knock down tables. So we used to pick dudes up and we used to drop them on their heads on the way out the door. And that's a fact. Everyone knows we were legendary for not having it. Take it out. Why y'all just can't take it? See, this what shows me that Corey ain't as real as he thought. I mean, I'm not saying that Corey, if he would have said it again, would have not cracked him in his jaw with that microphone in his hand. Well, he did kind of let the microphone roll off the table. So, would Corey get violent? I'm not saying that he wouldn't be. He's not a violent person and not capable of hurting somebody. I know he has issues with his wrists. And I know the last thing he got into was with some woman, and her man is some sort of fake security guard, and there was like an issue because I think she was selling blow, and he was like, there was some sort of issue at one of the clubs, and he got into it with the dude. Well, he got into it with a girl, and then he got into it by proxy to, with a man. That's just the way it works. So now we have this guy who ain't really been scrapping like that, but is, big, black, tough, real rah rah rah, talking a lot. And then we have Anton Daniels that we don't really know about, who Anton Daniels was showing off his fists, and he was showing off where he has all these scarring on his fists, right? He was showing some scar. He went like this, and you could see some scarring on his fist. Wow, look how dry my hands are. Okay, so he went like that, and you could see some scarring. Do you see any scarring on my hands? And I've been in some wars. Can't really see it. All right, 52. Stuff goes away, but all these knuckles were pretty bruised up throughout my life from squaring up. And it usually was with a customer. I never really had any situations on the streets. Nobody messed with me. And usually I was too busy putting in 80 hours a week. I never had time to get into a scrap outside. And I'm always a gentleman, so I never really worry about that. But people looked at me and they sized me up. They were like, yo, this dude, he ain't nobody. He think he's somebody. Rah, 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 ray. And next thing you know, I got to drop somebody. And I got to put somebody. Most people used to think I was security. They were like, yeah, you security, right? Like, nah, I'm not security. But the problem was, I was always ready. I was ready for the BS in the bar business. And I was pretty much, I was a tough guy. I was always ready to fight, always ready to scrap. So Anton Daniels claims that him and his cousins are always fighting. And with me is most people, I have one fight, they never wanted to fight me again. They were like, I'm good. You're a freaking maniac. And well, so I always, whenever I hear people say, yeah, I had a lot of fights. I went to jail and I was fighting every day. That means you pussy. Because all I had was one fight and nobody else wanted to fight me the second time. They were like, whoa, I'm leaving that guy alone. So, and I come from a boxing background. I was trying to make it to the Pan American Games when I was 15 years old, 16 years old. Did a lot of sparring with the likes of, some big heavy hitters back in the, like 1994, 1995, 1996. I was 225, and I did some spar. I was paid to spar, $80. I would spar for 3 rounds. Sometimes I would do 4 rounds, but I never did more than 4 rounds of sparring. So I did have a lot of power, a lot of ability to fight. So, it would always surprise people when they challenged me in the bar business. I used to rock the ponytail for a lot of years, 25 years. I was rocking the ponytail, and I'm always in a blazer. I'm always in boots, blazer, wearing different minks and stuff like that. I was that dude in Harlem wearing, couple of minks. I'm the guy who wears gloves when I drive. I'm one of those dudes. And I would always be able to back it up. And I used to always be heavy too. So that was another thing. It wasn't like you're going to run up on me and we're going to just go fist the cuffs everywhere. Like, nah, that ain't happening. You might get, something hot in you. Because, I've always had money and I was always, dealing with bar business. I could be meeting up with a guy from the liquor authority and I got 13 grand in my pocket and we're in the car counting 13 grand out because that's what I owe for the last 40 days of alcohol that we would get. It would be like a 30 to 40, 50 day period where they'll just allow me to buy whatever I wanted. They'll fill up your whole bar, but at a certain time you got to pay all that money. And they were very lenient, very, very lax. It wasn't like on your neck or anything like that, desperations and stuff like that. That's why I was able to have bottles of like Louis the 13 up there, all the top of the line bottles of alcohol is because it was on credit. I didn't have to pay it all right away. So we had so much really amazing alcohol. Some serious whiskeys, 21 years old, 18 years old. It was, the Johnny Blues and all that kind of stuff. The Hennessy, what's the Hennessy with the silver cap on top? Anyway, that was my old life. I haven't been doing that 10 years. I don't even really think about that stuff anymore. My whole point is Anton Daniels, we don't know what he's capable of if he's able to scrap. But he did invite him outside, and he declined his offer to go outside. And I have to respect that, because all my years I just hated the fact that everybody wanted to solve all their problems right there, right now. Nobody wanted to just say, let's walk. I mean, there was a few real ones, and they always was real. They will always step outside and they'll handle their business. And it's so refreshing in the bar business where you got the fight outside and everybody's inside partying and they don't even know what's going on. They might see the cop lights outside. They like sipping a drink, and in between the curtains, they can see like the cop lights. Cops come, clear everything up. My security is there. We still allowing people to come in and people to go out, and they scrapping outside. They got nothing to do with us. Now that I respect. So so Corey Holcomb ready to risk it all and throw everything out the window that you've been on the internet 15 years, busting your ass on the internet, and with Darlene, and you've had several different people come in and out of the show. And I like the show. I've spent like the last 2024 and 2025 watching the show. I stopped watching the show towards the end of 2025, only because the Backdorian stories were a little too much. He started to sound more like a victim of sexual deviancy or assault. He started to sound more like something happened and he don't want to talk about it, so he thinks everybody it happened to. Here's the thing, Corey Holcomb, I would argue that something happened to him sexually, and he thinks that if it could happen to me, it must be happening to all of y'all. Little do he know, you just that person's type. See, he can't let the Backdorian, that's a quote that he's claimed. I don't know if it's trademarked, but he calls it the Backdorian, and it's about homosexuality and homosexual activities. And some shows he can go an hour. With his show, it averages 2 hours. He can go a whole hour talking about Backdoria and the Backdoria this and Backdoria that and Backdoria this. It's like, dude, were you a victim of the Backdoria thing? Did some producer or something happen to you? Why don't you be honest? Stop villainizing homosexuality the way you are, because homosexuality is not this evil situation that you keep talking about. My uncle Edwin is my favorite uncle, the only uncle I really even talk to, and I have several uncles, and I love my uncle Edwin. But what is my uncle Edwin? He's a homosexual, and he's not in the closet hiding it. He is, you know what I'm saying? My brother Louis, God bless the dead, my brother Louis, homosexual. He was they called him back in the days, they used to call him Banji boys, where he was like real tough, played a lot of basketball, always real tough. But then he would go with his homeboys and they would be walking the balls, getting, he would get realness and whatever those things. He would come home with big trophies. I used to be like, what's this big trophy for? He used to be like, it was basketball. I used to be like, basketball? What? It says realness. What's that mean? I was the realest on the court. I was like, whoa, I'm all proud of him. And then I found out as an adult that it's actually, he was walking the balls. He was an extravaganza. So to hear Corey just non-stop attack homosexuality is like, come on, bro. Something obviously must have happened to you, and you don't want to keep it real. So you just swear that everybody else has been involved in doing all this and doing all that. And it really, really, like, after a couple of years of that, it wore on me. What's that? No, sir. Let's talk about, okay. Elaborate, buddy. So now, my whole thing is, what are you saying? So I had to walk away. I stopped listening to him for the last, 2 months of 2025. And this Tuesday is when this whole show came out, where Anton Daniels actually walked away. He was like, you know what, I'm leaving, because he was like, I feel like I'm arguing with a bitch, calling him a bitch. This is Corey calling Anton a bitch. Anton invited him outside to fight. He didn't want no parts of that. So the question that I've posed today is, Out of between Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb, who's the real nigga? Who's the real nigga here? Leave it in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. Who's the real nigga here? Who was? And I will admit this. Anton doesn't respect Corey Holcomb. So you went on a show with somebody that you don't respect. That I find interesting because Corey Holcomb invited Anton Daniels to the show. Why would Anton Daniels go to a Corey Holcomb show and you don't respect the host? And you think the host is a bit of an idiot or a buffoon? Like, why would Corey Holcomb go to a Godfrey show? A Godfrey's podcast? Like, I don't really like to watch Godfrey's podcast too much. I like his clips. But to listen to his show, all he does is bash Trump. All he does is talk about, especially the big guy with the like bone in his ear. I used to know the dude back in the days. We hung out, and it was like I used to bartend for these strippers. It was a male strippers. I actually used to, the guy who ran it was over there in Mount Eden in the Bronx. So the guy from Mount Eden in the Bronx, he would come over to my bar and be like, yo, I got to do another party. He was throwing parties like every 6 weeks. And I would, all right, cool. So I would get all the liquor for him. I would drive everything there. I would stack the bar. Then I would work the party, take care of all the money. And he would hit me off with like $500. And that was like every 6 weeks, I knew I had $500 coming. And I was in charge of all the alcohol. He trusted me just to do everything. Don't even worry about, he didn't even care how much. I don't care about nothing. All he cared about was the event, the girls coming in, paying, making sure he paid the dancers, which, did he even pay those dancers? I'm not sure. But that guy that's on Godfrey's channel, he used to be at the bar. He used to be like, oh, he was always out in New York City, real brolic and real intimidating and very, very nice. Very, 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 very nice. But he looked like a nice killer. I gotta keep it real. And at that time, I'm like 21, 22 years old, 220 pounds, shredded, worked out, just, I'm happy to be there and get that paper. And that guy, you should hear the way he talks on the Godfrey show. It's like, yo, whoa, y'all like real American bashing to me. To me, it comes across like American bashing, and I'm not with that. As bad as this country has been, all that bash, you go to other countries. I was just watching China Mac. China Mac lost his train card. And now China Mac he's in South Korea. Yo, you have to put your train card to get in on the train and to get off the train. They know where you are, where you came from. You have to let them know when you're coming and going. So, we're a lot freer here. We can just exit the train. We don't have to put our card in so they know exactly how long our travel was. See, a lot of people be talking that America this, America that, but I argue that America's great. I know we have our flaws, but I don't want to just sit and listen to a podcast of everybody just bashing America. I'm not with it. And the white supremacy this and white supremacy that, all that stuff, I just be like, yo. So why would Anton go on a show that he doesn't respect the host? That's my issue. Shouldn't you respect the host? So I do have a little bit of a gripe. I did see something came up here. Anton has a somber demeanor and his political views are skewed. Okay. This is a masterful chess move played out because there was no Christian values displayed. from the start. Ooh, because, yeah, but you got to remember, Jesus turned over tables when he was 12. He was stepping to all those leaders, speaking that, it was always speaking a different language, speaking their language. We're like, yo, this ain't right. What y'all doing? So, you know, my mother used to always say, I'm riding with the Jesus that turned over tables. That's what my mother used to always say. My mother, she was quick to give us the backhand. Pow! In the name of Jesus. My mother would cry. My mother broke my nose when I was a kid. Knocked this whole thing in here. They had to straighten it out, put the band-aids over it to let it set. My mother knocked. I could barely breathe out of this nose. So if I was partying, I only could party in this nose. This nose I could barely party in. That's a story for another day. I kid. That's a joke. That's an old joke. It was better in my head than when it came out. But anyway, I digress. Who's the real nigga here? Who is the real nigga here? I'm giving it to Anton Daniels because he was willing not to jeopardize platforms and take it outside. Here's another thing. One more thing. Anton Daniels came with security. I'm not sure if he came with armed security, but he came with security. And would the security allow Anton Daniels to shoot a fair one? I know my security wouldn't. No. My security, there were times where we had some standoffs with people, some ice grilling, and my security has literally snatched up the other person and taken them out of that situation just so I didn't put my hands on them. To stop me from putting my hands on somebody, they would snatch the person up and get them up out of near my space. Because people hated me. I was hated. You got to imagine 220, 230, 240, 250 pounds. That's like the extent of my weight at the time. I'm a 250 pounds, 6 foot, almost 2, 6 foot 1.5. I'm like, I don't know, centimeter from being 6'2". Got the long ponytail, always in a blazer, pocket square. Boots with this, like equivalent to a Chelsea boot. I'm rocking Chelsea boots and motorcycle boots. Looking real good, looking real strong, strapped, and I'm running a bar in Harlem. People didn't like that. They hated that. But let me tell you, if the white man came and opened up a bar in Harlem, they would stand online and not say shit. But when you're black and you open up a bar in Harlem, they're like, yo, I'm from here. I'm going to blow this whole place up. You about to let me in, and you ain't searching me. And I want to owe. Call the owner. I want to owe. And I'm like, nah, everybody pays. Everybody pays. That's a fact. That's how I got most of my beef, because I refuse. Everybody pays, from the Greg Walkers to the what's this guy who Butch Cassidy's. They all gotta pay. Avons, everybody gotta pay. All the tough guys that ran up and down Harlem streets, they knew that they were getting searched and they gotta pay. It wasn't until I left the bar, I went into the club business in the Bronx, and was opening up a club up there in the Bronx on East Tremont, where someone got shot and killed by that dude Wolf. You can Google that. I think they gave Wolf 40 years. I wasn't there, nor was I running the place at the time when that happened. And this dude was like 40-something-year-old gang member. Killed somebody in the bar, left the bar, goes to wherever he goes to, comes back, and the security there just let him walk right back in. See, that could have never happened when I was there. Security would have got fired. I'd have told security, yo, I see you on the camera, you're letting these people back and forth, you're not searching them. And this dude like danced his way back into the bar, because he was like, yo, I'll be right back. And then he danced his way back into the bar, came into the bar, and laid this dude down, shot him in the head, and then pistol whipped him while he was down on the ground. I seen the whole video. So I wasn't there when that happened. I was no longer affiliated with the business when that happened. But people want to destroy your business, and they will kill somebody in your business. Not wait for them to walk outside and lay them down right there by their car. None of that. Not saying that the bar wouldn't be liable, because we gotten sued from people that were in car accidents in another borough who said they were in my fucking bar and they wasn't. And I got to pull out all these fucking video cameras, saying, look, show me the person. This is the whole night when they came in my bar. But they were like, bragging. Yeah, I was in such and such spot. I got drunk, and now you just hit somebody. So we have to feel that repercussions. It's crazy. Bar business is no joke. I mean, it's great money. You want to make $1 million in 6 months, bar business is always great, because when people are stressed and depressed, they want to party. So it is what it is, man. I went through all that to say that I think Anton Daniels, willing to take it outside, has shown that he is truly the real nigga in this scenario. This guy got a lot to say. The internet nerds think they can say anything, but we see people address your words rather on a computer screen or in the face be continuous. I can't, my glasses. I gotta read this stuff without my glasses. All right, let's go back. Let's see what this person. The internet nerds think they can say anything, but we see people address your words rather on a computer screen or in the face be continuous. Cautious. If anyone wasn't scared, then why go to the Angry Man and the Fugazi podcast to speak on what the beef was? If I got beef, I'm not mentioning nothing else till I see the other person again. Okay, I hear you, tough guy. There are ad hominems used to keep him from stating the obvious. There is only one way out the studio, and Corey said we can get to that after the conversation. Yeah, but he was threatening to be violent during that conversation. It was a bait and switch because 5150 been around and Anton wants his audience. Stop it. That's ridiculous. People watch several shows. Nobody's dedicated to one pod. That's not real. Oh my goodness. This was masterful chess move played out because there was no Christian value. Oh yeah, I read that already. All right, you got a lot to say. I appreciate that. So you're saying that Anton is like, supposed to be this Christian conservative, and you didn't see none of that. That he was trying to get the audience. He wants that audience. So he's going to go to podcasts where he doesn't respect people's intellect, outwit them, outsmart them, make them look stupid, and then grab their audience. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. You all appreciate it, man. Thank you for. Anton Daniels is strategic. Okay. I don't want to give him too much credit. He's also a man. But he is definitely the realest nigga in the room that day. You are appreciated. If you got any value out of this, hit my Cash App. Hit my Venmo. That's $ Elvis Rosenberg, one word, or at Elvis-Rosenberg on the Venmo. You are appreciated. And I love you. And that's a fact. You know that to be true. Let's not play that game. Ha ha ha.